guys doing? Welcome to Big Rich's Bitchin' Kitchen. Whose idea was that to come up with that? That was Justin's, wasn't it?
Nice.
Yeah. So, anyways, we've got everything we need for Thanksgiving meal here. Now, you ask, why are oranges for Thanksgiving? I'm going to tell you, because it produces the most juicy turkey. You cut this up into quarters and you stuff that cavity. Forget making grandma's, stuffing up in the cavity. It's kind of gross. It's kind of not healthy, but whatever. I stuff it with oranges, and the juice and the moisture from the oranges keep the turkey juice, because I cook mine in a tin foil, so it's cooked enclosed, I'll give you more hints later. We had to get the red russet potatoes, and I don't care whose grandmother made stuffing. There's nothing better than stovetop stuffing. Sometimes I'll add some Italian sausage to it, but this is a staple. Now, my homemade yams, wait till you see this. I had my cousin Joy, my father's sister, swore her yams were, everyone loves her yams. So I invited her family over for Christmas, or Thanksgiving. Not only did her daughter and her granddaughter think my yams were better, but my turkey was juicier and better, and she got really upset about this. I'm so sorry. What does Jet Puff marshmallows have to do with Thanksgiving? If you've ever gone to Boston Market and got their sweet potatoes, it has a marshmallow crumbly topping on it, and it was really good. It's the only way I can make my candied yams any better, so I'm gonna do that on it too. This is eggs, sugar, pumpkin puree. Okay, this is going to make the wet mixture for the pumpkin rolls. There's the dry mixture. We got flour, baking powder. This is ginger, and then we have cinnamon, and we also have nutmeg. So now, this is the order I do it in. You got to do the wet mixture, then you got to do the dry mixture. You mix them together and put them into one big cake mixture. Then you take, over here, you take your wax paper and you spray buttered pan on both of those jelly roll pans. You take wax paper and put it down. It'll stick to it with the wetness of the spray pan. And then you would go ahead and pour your cake mixture on it. And you're making a cake about almost a ½ inch thick. You only cook it for 11 minutes. In the size of that, 11 by 18, I think it is. And that's what you're going to roll up with the filling in. Now, the filling. Here, let's start off with the filling. First, you got to buy Land O'Lakes real butter. If you're going to make a dessert, you got to get name brand stuff, period. Well, I go off name brand to save a few pennies, and the taste ain't there when you're done. Land O'Lakes real butter, and then you got to get all the cream cheese, Philadelphia cream cheese. So I've been setting them out all day, so they're room temperature. So is this butter. I can push right through it. It is room temperature. You need it room temperature. And then buy real vanilla pure extract, okay? You need the buttered pan, and then powdered sugar. You mix all this together, and this makes the inside, the filling. It's so good. And then I was like, if the filling's so good, why don't we just double it up? So now our pumpkin roll bread is almost a ½ inch thick, and it's undercooked to where it's a little sticky yet. Love that. And then we double stuff the stuffing. It's like an Oreo double stuff. Gotta love it. So when we're done, we're going to show you how it's done and what it's like. And I lightened up on the cinnamon because cinnamon's really Christmas tasting, with the nutmeg and the ginger, but it was too strong of a flavor. A lot of people out there don't like pumpkin flavor. Well, they still love my pumpkin rolls. It's a hint of Christmassy, pumpkin-y flavor. It's not very strong, but the butter, cream cheese, powdered sugar, vanilla, that stuff's so good inside. So we're going to teach you guys how to make this. Stick around. Look, first of all, we're going to need to do this twice. We're going to make 2 pumpkin rolls at a time. So I'm going to do 3 eggs in this and 3 eggs in this. Okay, crack, split it open, put your shell in the thing. Crack, split it open, put your shell in the thing. I mean, it's just rinse and repeat, do the same thing. 3 eggs for each one. We're gonna go on to 1 cup of sugar in each one. Then we're going on to 2/3 cup of pumpkin puree. Let's take this, boom. 1, now we got 2/3 pumpkin puree in each one. Bust all the eggs up, mix them together first. And then you mix it all together. Now this is going to be a very light. People that don't like pumpkin, you'll still love these pumpkin rolls because I toned it down. It's a hint of pumpkin, a hint of cinnamon, a hint of nutmeg, and Christmassy flavors. But I've had people that don't like anything to do with pumpkin rolls, pumpkin pie, nothing, eat these and still love them. If you don't lick your lips and think that this tastes good and you can't wait to taste it while you're cooking, you're doing something wrong. All right, now we're gonna mix our dry ingredients together. For this, we're gonna need 2/3 cup of flour. Okay, now what we need is a teaspoon of baking powder. Level teaspoon. And try and spread that around for each. We're making 2, remember? Level teaspoon. A teaspoon of ginger. And use your finger if you can't, if it don't have the lid. Like, see, like this lid here, it has this cutout made to scrape your spoon. Great idea. The company cares. This ginger company just leaves an open hole. So you use your finger and you scrape off, and it's a flat measure. Then you just tap it in. And, you know, mix it out with the flour. And same thing here for the second one. So 1 teaspoon of ginger in each one. 1 teaspoon of cinnamon for each one. I can smell the Christmassy flavors now. Okay, now we've got 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg, ground nutmeg. Man, it smells like Christmas in here. Okay, take your easiest whisk and whisk this together. Okay, so now we're done with our dry mixture. And you know what you got to do then? You got to mix your dry mixture with your wet mixture. Now, let's go ahead and take this and mix it together. All right, so there goes. Both of our cake mixtures are done. I'm going to show you how to prepare the pans now. This was a setup from somebody else. If you take your pans, now I don't have butter pan. I usually always use butter pan. But I'm going to spray a jelly roll pan. And the next one. And then I'm going to cover it with wax paper. Now, you've got the bottom covered. See, I pretty much cut that 2 sides, but if there's anything hanging off, like this little bit of 1/4 inch here, take your scissors and cut off. Reason being is, in the oven, if you don't cut off the excess wax, it will burn up into the air like that. Like if you left 3 inches on, that'll burn and it'll give a smoky, burnt taste to all of your cake. Now both pans are lined with wax paper, and now we're going to spray them again because the wax paper ain't going to stick to the pan, but we're putting cake in here. So let's spray this again. Okay, so both pans are ready. Very easy, very minimal preparation, very easy. You know, I'm not a man that has a good memory. I don't remember all this stuff. I just make it easy and make it good. Now, we're going to put these into the prepared pans that we did, but you have to spread them out. Okay, let me grab this on top. Okay, let's spread this out. It's going to be super thin. You know, you want a thin layer of this. I mean, if you like the cinnamon and the thing and it's overpowering, you know, that's fine. But I make mine to where there's a hint of the Christmassy flavors to it. So it's a real thin bread. And we're going to take this and spread this out. And I'm going to show you a trick how to spread it out even better. Because you don't want to touch the wax paper with the spatula, because you're going to smear the butter that's on there, the butter pan. You want to be able to just spread out the high points. And then I'm going to do one for you real quick. And you take this and you do this. You just take it and keep dropping it. And it'll spread out to every point in the pan. Sorry for the noise. Diesel's running over there. He's like, what is going on? I'm gonna spread the high points out now towards the edges that I haven't touched. Okay, let's do that a little bit more. Okay. I see how it's all spread out there? There's a little bit not touching here, not touching here, but I'm gonna do the other one, and then this will have time to spread out and even out. Now, you can see they're nice and level and spread out, very thin coating, and we're gonna cook these for 350 degrees for 11 minutes. At 11 minutes, they're gonna come out and they're gonna seem uncooked. Don't let that fool you. We're gonna leave them sit here for an extra 10 minutes in the pan and give it time, okay? But 11 minutes under 350, and that's the key. That's the big key, because then it comes out a little sticky, really soft, really good, and pliable to where we can roll it up without cracking it. All right, now that they're flattened out, what we need is, oh, I didn't even think of this. We need to put them center of the oven on 350 for 11 minutes. Now, timer. All right. 11 minutes, okay, start. I like it. Okay, so we're cooking them for 11 minutes and they'll come out a little bit sticky. We're gonna leave them set in our pan a little bit, and then we're gonna take a wet, damp cloth and roll them up and leave them set for 20 minutes. This is the trick, because now once they cool completely off, they're wanting to stay rolled up. You can unroll it, put in the cream cheese mixture, and then you can roll it back up and it doesn't crack. That's key. All right, so now what we're gonna do is start phase 2. In phase 2, we have to mix the, let me see, 4 ounces of cream cheese, 2 sticks of butter, 3 teaspoons of vanilla, and 4 cups of powdered sugar. And this makes for both of them cakes we just made. I'm gonna take the room temperature butter, put it right in. There's 2. And now we need 4 of the 8 ounces of cream cheese. And of course, buy the name brand. When you're making a treat, you don't want to buy off name brand stuff and then your treat comes out and it's not as good as you remember. Buy real butter, buy real name brand cream cheese. It's good. If you don't know how to cook, ask a fat man. Fat man will tell you how to cook. Trust me. I've been a fat man for many years. I've cooked for my family. Tracy hardly does any cooking. I've cooked for my family, my kids, all their life. They've got a bunch of different meals they really love, and you know, you teach them and they teach their kids, and it's good eating. 4 cream cheese, 2 butter. Always, always, always keep a towel on you because your hands get covered in stuff. Okay, so now we're going to need a teaspoon of vanilla. Now the vanilla, always get real vanilla, not the cheap stuff. And then I'll throw in a touch extra on top of my recipe. Okay, now what we need is 4 cups of powdered sugar. Almost a whole bag, almost. And there will be 4. Okay, and that's it for your filling. You're done, except for mixing it. Let me turn this on the lowest setting. Turn it on slowest as you can at first because of all the powdered sugar. Otherwise, you'd have a big white mess. Looks like it's snowing inside. See how it's mixing together and there's no powder hanging around? Now you can turn it up. And you let it whip together for a second or 2. I'm following the same steps as this. This is the recipe that I've perfected over the years. And it says mixing first and then mix second, and you have to do this whole step twice. Then you have to blend together your stuff and then put it into the pans. Then to make the filling is what we're doing right now. So I mean, it's very simple. Now I always stop it about halfway through and I scrape off the outside. Make sure that nothing didn't get touched, you know, so that you've got the butter mixed with cream cheese, mixed with the vanilla, mixed with the, you know, powdered sugar. And we'll go again. So, we're going to use this. This is enough filling to do both cakes. So we've got both cakes going to come out. We can't put the filling right in because they'll be hot. The filling will melt and spread. It is butter and cream cheese. So we have to let them cool off to room temperature, but rolling it in that wet towel will help. We're going to take a little bit of wax paper that was in there. See how it can lift it up? Here's the whole set on the ground. Now this pan can be reused. We can make the next one. Let me do the next one. Now this is about setting for about 10 minutes out of the oven. Okay, there's two. We've got two pans ready to be relined with wax paper and used again. Now what we're going to do with these, the next step is we're going to take the towels, hand towels, out of your kitchen, and we're going to get them soaking wet and wring them out as dry as you can wring them so they're just damp. We're going to lay them down on top. We're going to flip them over. We're going to take off the wax paper and then roll them up in these towels like a burrito and leave them set for 15 minutes. They'll absorb the moisture in the towel and they will take on that shape sitting there 15 minutes. When I unroll it, they'll want to roll back up. Then we can spread our inside filling. That's the trick. Okay, so next what you want to do is we got hand towels. You see regular kitchen hand towels, straight out of the dishwasher, the clothes washer. And we got them wet and I wrung them out. And what you do is you fold it up nice and neatly and you wring them as hard as you can to get rid of any water out of them. And then they're ready for the pie or the cake. What we're going to do is we're going to place this over the cake and we're going to flip it upside down. Now, we're going to peel off this. You gotta watch if the edges, because the wax paper runs around the edges, if it gets caught on there, it will rip the cake because it's only 7/16 inch thick, you know. There, all wax paper's off. Now, you got that off, you take your towel and you actually roll it up. Boom, there is one done. Now, we're done with both of them. You gotta let that sit for 15 minutes or so before applying the filling. And what we're gonna do is unroll it, apply the filling, and use the same towels to roll it back up into the wax paper. Next up in our video, we're gonna take the cakes out of the damp towels and fill them with pie filling, or the filling that we normally put in there. We're gonna use tin foil, we're gonna use wax paper. Let me cut the piece of wax paper first. Okay, now what we're gonna do is pull out enough tin foil for each one of these, and we're going to fill their insides with buttery powdered sugar, vanilla, cream cheese goodness. Okay, so we're going to unroll this now. Now, mind you, this has been here for 15 minutes. See how it's wanting to stay rolled up? What we're going to do is we're going to fill this with filling. We're going to cut the filling that we made, we're going to cut it in half. And we're going to put half the filling on this first one, which is a lot. Trust me on this. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's what I'm talking about. So, we take this filling and we spread it out. Try and make it about 1 inch thick all the way across. Okay, now we're going to take this and roll this up That's right. Fold it on over. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Now that is one pumpkin roll done with double stuffing. You got double stuffing on there? You got that? Okay. We're going to roll this on over under this tin foil and roll it up. Now it's a nice round roll. What we're going to do is put this in the freezer. I don't even know if we have room in our freezer. Not really. Let's move this stuff out of the way. There we go. There's one pumpkin roll. One roll done. It's been what, 16 hours? I think somebody dropped some pumpkin roll cream on the floor because I just stepped on something cold and yeah, I think it was you, Michelle. No. That was you that dropped that. Okay, let's unfold this one from the wet towel. Oh, look at this. Oh my goodness, it's all over my feet. That's horrible.
I knew you were going to step in there too.
Why didn't you tell me? You don't love me. You don't care. You just let me do it. Oh my goodness. Michelle, you're terrible. Okay, we're going to take the other half of the cream cheese filling and just stuff this because it's just goodness. Oh my goodness. Now, mind you, I took someone else's great recipe that I thought theirs was the best pumpkin roll ever, and I doubled up the cream to put inside. So this is all twice as good as the best pumpkin roll I ever saw. And then I took the cake part and I took out some of the cinnamon, some of the nutmeg, and made it more palatable, less Christmassy tasting, to where the star of the show is the buttercream, powdered sugar, vanilla, cream cheese filling. That's all there is to it, because that's the star of the show. And I gave the cake a little hint of Christmas pizzazz. All right, let me get this started here. We're gonna roll this. Use your towel to help you. Just like sushi, roll it up. There we go. All right, now we're gonna pull it back here and we're gonna put the tin foil in front. Yes. Look at that. There's a lot of stuffing in that thing. Lots of filling. That's what you need though. Twice as much filling as the cake, so it don't taste so pumpkin-y and taste so buttery, rich, good. Oh goodness. All right, we're gonna open this up. Now people that think pumpkin rolls ain't that hard to make, can you make me 5 or so? There's 2. It's taken us about 6 hours. This is a long process. And look at my hands. Look at my feet. Look at my floor. Look at my poor camera lady. She's tired over there. That's 2 pumpkin rolls. It's time extensive, but they're so worth it. Oh my gosh.